The enchantment of Portal, in a nutshell, revolves around the deductive capability leading to a burst of excitement when you do get a puzzle's intention and you apply your conclusion. Hence, the portals end up being in the right place. Portal is not a particularly difficult game, yet it is difficult enough so that there is either a momentary thought at the least, or a prolonged period of reflection at the most, when deciphering why the puzzle's function will lead to a character flying in this or that direction, how that will correlate with where you need to go, or how to situate the portals for the high energy pellets. It is an intelligently made game overall, clever for the most part, but always appropriate and well made in its design. One of the ways in which Portal shined was its dialogue.
The Enrichment Center regrets to inform you that this next test is impossible. Make no attempt to solve it.
There definitely is a climax to the game, as it does end up going beyond where it initially stands. This being GLaDOS mocking, but not necessarily in a degrading way. She definitely does stir with kindness before she begins losing her mind.
Fantastic. You remained resolute and resourceful in an atmosphere of extreme pessimism.
I envisioned it, despite the death traps, as a sort of loving grasp, with consequences attached. Does her tune change? Not willing to spoil the plot, I'll let you figure it out, as it is blatant that GLaDOS is attached. Her pathological drive wants you to commit to solving puzzles forever. Yet, maybe you don't. Portal is well designed visually. It is an enchanting game mechanically, yet very paranoid and even claustrophobic. Despite its open spaces, it tends to make you feel very lonely, alone and withdrawn. The game beyond reaches for the dystopian feeling. It is cathartic in a way or another, just not with too much color or soulfulness. It is a very serious game, despite its quirky dialogue, but even that will hint at the morbidity of the matter quite thoroughly. It does follow some kind of formula structurally. In fact, it is very blatant. You hear GLaDOS' sarcastic quips as you end and then begin a level. It is clever and sarcastic dialogue that revolves around your unrest and her advantage over you, alongside the occasional promise or insinuation that you will never leave her grasp. You go level to level solving individual puzzles, with new mechanisms being added in here and there, yet they always do revolve around the portal gun, one of the most ingenious gameplay mechanisms ever put forward. The portal gun's ability is quite simple. You can shoot two different portals. There is an orange and then a blue portal. By entering one portal, you come out of the other. This creates the possibility for all too many puzzle designs, it feels like, and while the game is simply a few hours long, a lot of ideas are put to execution, that is for certain. The portals will create momentum, and yes, there is no fall damage. This means that you can leap very thoroughly and build up a hell of a lot of momentum. But despite that, the game never does get confusing. It always does feel well oriented. Placing the portals goes from being a chilled out endeavor to being a second long decision. It all depends on the puzzle that you're presently facing. The idea is quite brilliant and genius, and it creates a brilliant gameplay loop that focuses on the resolution of the matter. Figuring out how to approach and tackle a puzzle always unanimously revolves around your portal gun. And it feels like idealistically, all of the right ideas for the portal gun's potential to be fully capitalized upon are in the game. While I adored most puzzles, a few felt like they confused me. I have been going through a mentally diminished period of time in my life, meaning I'd want to avoid talking about the difficulty as much as I possibly can, as a puzzle that would have tripped me up could go very well for you. Yet there are a few that felt sort of obtuse, not by being too easy, but by lacking some sort of cleverness. Instead of the puzzle feeling smooth, it could feel fairly clumsy. Despite the solution still being clear, I'd be left wishing for more. Most were baseline clever, evidently so. They required forethought, but not so significantly that it got annoying. They were beautifully done. The difficulty could have been harder, but as someone who avoids the Souls games and who doesn't seek out a stressful experience, rather an appropriate challenge, it felt spot on. Portal was very fun. It was surprisingly straightforward. Despite its creativity and ingenuity, it didn't transcend bounds and become revolutionary. It was simply a great, perhaps an amazing game, with an absolutely ingenious concept that glued it together superbly well. I really did love playing it. GLaDOS was a fruitful and needed addition. The quirky dialogue worked very well with the dystopian and barren atmosphere. And the puzzles were not always revolutionary or legendary, but they always worked very well. They were at the least solid and understandable in every way. As long as you took some time to understand them or experimented with the portals being in different places, you'd get through them. Personally, I enjoyed it the whole way through. I didn't have any reservations other than thoughts here and there, but it never manifested into any sort of disliking or even annoyance. Overall, Portal was tons of fun. It was an amazing game. I'd give it an 8 out of 10.